These are the very best cars to learn how to drive well in. My name is Wyatt Peterson. I write car articles for a living. Let's do this. First off, we have the Mini Cooper S. It's pretty quick, it's pretty light, it's all-wheel drive, it's a manual, it's very fun. James May says you gotta try driving one at least once. They're super agile and they're pretty dang racy. The Subaru BRZ and the 8.6, same thing. They are very good at handling. They're not very powerful, but you don't need a lot of power when you're just learning. They're manuals, but the brand new ones do have paddle shifters and they have thin tires, which some people hate, but it's good to learn where the traction breaks on a car, especially if you're learning to drive track. And the tires are pretty cheap to replace. Yeah, this one's not cheap. It's like $60,000, but it's a Porsche. It's got Porsche handling. It's a pretty good race car to get started in if you can find the cash. Used ones are also available. The Mustang GT is not easy to drive. It's not. It's pretty good for drifting. It's good for breaking loose. And if you're not careful, yeah, you can absolutely crash this. So it will make you a better driver. Just start slow. The Honda Civic Type R is going to be super reliable. It's got a pretty good amount of horsepower and it's front wheel drive, which is actually really good, especially if you start doing track races, because it's a lot harder to learn rear wheel drive as a beginner. In fact, front wheel drive cars often beat out rear wheel drive. The WRX STI has the best all-wheel drive you could ever hope for. It will help you so much in snow and rough conditions, and it fits like a glove. It really conforms to your driving habits. It's good. The GR Yaris is what Jeremy Clarkson calls the car of the year, and it's not hard to see why. It only weighs 2,500 pounds, and yet it has almost 300 horsepower. That's almost 100 horsepower per cylinder. That's right, it's a 3-cylinder. It's kind of weird. Sadly, they're not in the United States. The BMW M2 is BMW's gateway car, which is supposed to get you hooked on the BMW brand. So it's not that expensive. It's like $58,000, but it's a really good purist sports car. It's simple, it's rear-wheel drive, it's manual, it's got a lot of horsepower, and it is made for racing. The Ford Focus ST, if you ever see one of these, it's probably modded out. They're really easy to fix up and modify. They have a huge aftermarket support group because there's just a lot of them. They're pretty simple. They're front wheel drive, so also good for learning to track race on. And they're pretty quick. They'll treat you good. They'll ease you into driving. We gotta mention the Miata, the MX-5. The old ones are a little overpriced, but the new ones are rear wheel drive manuals, lightweight, good handling, great starter car.